Hey, it's the Rican. And to continue my theme of what I've been talking about this week, once again with the whole believe what I believe or you're a white supremacist. It's a video about an article from CNN that I saw. Well, here's a here's another piece of stuff going on this week. Google launches anti-racism initiative that claims America is white supremacist. Now, it goes here. Critical race theory's number one critic, Christopher Rufo, has once again uncovered a company pushing particular political ideology onto the employees. So here goes, it goes here. At one point in Google's materials, they place Jewish commentator Ben Shapiro in the white supremacy pyramid. Let me see if I could click on the picture to make it bigger so people who are watching and not listening could see the picture. Alrighty then. I don't know why this is taking so long, but anyway, while that's loading up, let me click on the other one too. So since one is taking a little bit longer. But yes, so you can see here there's a, it goes here, overt white supremacy, socially unacceptable. Covert white supremacy, socially acceptable. So here goes, calling the police on Black people. That's socially acceptable. Was here Eurocentric curriculum, white savior complex, mass incarceration. Let's see, hopefully. Here it goes. Here goes one of them. This is the one. I'm trying to make this bigger so like that I could, not only you could see it, so I could see it. Here it goes. Overt white supremacy, lynching, hate crimes, blackface, which is ironic that they have this as overt white supremacy and socially unacceptable when the governor of was it Virginia either appeared in blackface or dressed as KKK. So, and if it's socially unacceptable, how the hell is he still governor? Racist jokes is overt white supremacy. So when, let's say Chris Rock or Dave Chappelle or Kevin Hart, when they make fun of Black people, or, that's not, I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to say when they make fun of white people, because obviously they're not going to say that's racist. But, when they make fun of Black people, is that white supremacy? But here, I mean, you see the stuff here, covert white supremacy, making America great again, the bootstrap theory, denial of racism, tokenism, English only initiatives. Wait a minute. We live in a country that when a majority of people speak English, how is this racist? Oh my goodness. Exceptionalism. Celebration of Columbus Day is covert white supremacy. Come on, people. Fetishizing BIPOC. Oh my God, I'm a horrible meritocracy myth. There we go. Inequitable healthcare, denial of white privilege, all lives matter. Oh man, you see all of this color blindness. This is why I said came to the my conclusion with that article from CNN is if you don't agree with what they believe, you're a white supremacist. And this right here just goes to show you that I wasn't far off. Let me see if the other picture loaded up while I was talking. No. Here's the pyramid. Here it goes. The white supremacy pyramid. But this is what they do. I mean, this is what the left do. This is what's going on in this country now. They make it that if you disagree with them, that's what you are. And here, look, mass murder, violence. They have, let's see here, calls for violence, KKK, neo-Nazi, burning crosses. Okay, none of that's good. Lynching, hate crimes, and police brutality under violence. Discrimination, racial profiling, mass incarceration, racial slurs, fear of people of color, anti-immigration policies. Yeah, I'm sure this, is, when it's anti-illegal immigration, that's what people are against, not the immigration. There are some people who are against immigration totally. I'm not one of them. Victim blaming, racist jokes, Eurocentric curriculum, tokenism, here goes, same stuff. Minimization, white savior complex, not all white people, not believing people of color's experiences. I'm a person of color. Why do you not believe my experience? Because I don't fit in. Neither does, let's say neither does someone like Larry Elder, who the LA Times called him the black face of white supremacy. And what does that do? It drives people crazy. And then they do stuff like, where's the video here? Then people do stuff like this because they believe the stuff that's in the newspaper. Look, she threw an egg at him. And then she was so angry. And you have another psycho that comes in afterwards. After she took a swing, you have this crazy guy that comes in. Notice he's just he's not a black guy, he's a white guy. And then he got hit twice. And look, I gotta respect their composure, because that was me. I'm swinging because you are not taking a swing at me and thinking that I'm not going to hit you back. I have too much of a temper, but anyway. But you see, where was the big story on this stuff about Larry Elder being attacked? It's not there, because this whole thing about white supremacy is bullshit. It's about power. And they're using this because they can, because that's why people want to know why I'm fighting CRT. This is why I fight CRT. Because if kids learn this if kids learn this and say, oh, this is reality, this is the truth, as opposed to it being an opinion, then we're done, because this is an opinion. This is not fact. This is someone's opinion. But they want to teach this stuff to kids as fact. And that's the dangerous game of this. And people go, oh, we're not teaching it, and we're not it's a CRT is a college level program. We just want to teach the history. No, you don't. Teaching this stuff is not teaching history. Okay, the 1619 project is not real history. Okay, we could teach about slavery. We could teach about the Tulsa race riots. We could teach about the Tulsa massacre. We could teach about the Trail of Tears with the Indians. We could teach about all that stuff. We could teach about the civil rights movement and all the stuff that happened during the civil rights movement. That is not CRT. That is just teaching history. But when you want to talk about this stuff that's here, this is the stuff that's CRT, that's applied, like as Tim Pool says, applied praxis, critical race applied practice. I called it critical race applied pedagogy. But it's basically teaching this nonsense to our youth. Saying colorblindness is a thing of white supremacy. No, it should be what we strive for. It should be an ideal that I don't view you as your skin color. I view you as a person. I go, you're not my black friend, you're my friend. You're not my gay friend, you're just my friend. Okay, I refer to my best friend as just my best friend. But why were those two identities? Because she is a black gay woman. But that's just my best friend of 30 years. But that's where we need to go in this society, not We're going backwards when we want to stress our physical differences, our sexual differences. We're going backwards. We're not going forward. We're not healing. The whole thing about history is learning not to repeat it. But that's not what's going on right now. We're repeating, basically, we're repeating the history, not US history, we're repeating Chinese history. This is the cultural revolution that happened in China. That's what we're living through right now. This is what's going on. And where did this start? This started in colleges. That's why when people talk about CRT and it's not being taught, that it's just taught in colleges. Yes, it was just being taught in colleges. But this stuff is out of colleges. And look, it's in corporate America. This is corporate America that I'm showing you. This is a Google presentation to the employees. So imagine a kid having to learn this in high school or junior high school or elementary school, thinking that this is reality when it's just an opinion. And in my opinion, it's a fiction. But this is what's going on. This started in colleges, and you have this guy here, goes Portland State University professor, resigns, says school is a social justice factory. That's what's going on. They're not teaching our kids, they're indoctrinating your kids in college. You, as a parent, your mission to educate your children doesn't end after they turn 18. When you send these kids to colleges, you got to make sure you talk to them and find out what they're learning, because if they're learning this, you need to wake them up, because this is what's going on. What Antifa, what Project Veritas exposed with the Antifa teacher, this is what's going on in colleges. It's just that they're trying to take it into the next level. They're trying to get, they know the younger they get your kids, the easier it is to indoctrinate them. That's the end of the story right there. The younger they get your kids, the easier it is to indoctrinate them. And this is what the guy said. He goes, I once believed, nor do I now, that the purpose of instruction was to lead my students to a particular conclusion, Boghossian, a philosophy professor, wrote in the letter. Rather, I sought to create the conditions for rigorous thought to help them gain the tools to hunt and furrow for their own conclusions. This is why I became a teacher and why I love teaching. But over time, he argued, Portland State University, a public-funded college, made intellectual exploration impossible and has transformed itself into a social justice factory with a primary focus on race, victimhood, and gender. And this is the whole thing. I just showed the video of Larry Elder. Larry Elder could try to go to Portland State to do a speech, and they'll protest him, saying that he's a white supremacist. They've done this to Candace Owens. She's a black woman. For people who don't know who Candace Owens is, I could do a speech if I was and talk about this stuff, and they would call me a white supremacist, even though I'm a proud Puerto Rican American. That's what they would do, because the point of it is not tolerance. That's what they always preach, tolerance. They're past the tolerance stage now. It's accept, believe what I believe, or you're white supremacist. If you don't believe what they believe, you're not you're a white supremacist, and you need to be ignored, you need to be chastised, and you need to be driven from society. That's what's going on. It's like like I said, my previous video, believe what I believe, or you're a white supremacist. That's what's going on right now. There's no differences in thought. Any difference in thought goes right here. Any difference in thought goes right here. Like I said, color blindness. White parents self-segregating neighborhoods and schools. Guess what? Blacks and Latinos, we get out of the inner cities because we want to segregate ourselves and be able to get our kids to get a better education. some of this stuff is like, some of this stuff doesn't even go. This is crazy. Education funding from property taxes. That's white supremacy. No, look, listen, I moved to the suburbs so my kids could get a better education. Period. Now, if you take that away, you got people living in this, you got cities, you could take the property taxes, the corporate property taxes, and use those. In New York City spends one of the highest amount of money per student. That funding doesn't make it better. And here, you don't sound black. I've heard you don't sound Puerto Rican. That's white supremacy. No, that's just discrimination. But you can see here, treating, prioritizing white voices as experts. Well, this is the irony, because you could have a black person talking, and you'll take let's say what's going on in California with the recall of Gavin Newsom. Well, you have a black expert there now, someone who's could probably help fix California, but you want to go with the white savior as opposed to the black man. And here it goes, like I said, this stuff, whatever you disagree with the left, and whatever you disagree with the people pushing CRT, pushing the 1619 project, this is where your what's the word? Your disagreements, this is where they're going to go, because this is how they silence you. Every disagreement is and instantly becomes, well, it's because you're a racist, you're a covert white supremacist. That's how they do it. And that's how we're in the mess that we are right now. So that's why when people talking about, oh, we need to teach CRT too, we do need to teach CRT. Look, no, we don't need to teach this. We need to teach history and accurate history. That's fine. There's no one, you know what? If there's people complaining about teaching accurate history, then they have a problem. Because we do need to teach history, so we don't learn from the mistakes of our past. So you know what? Do me a favor. Teach slavery, teach civil rights, teach the way we treated Native Americans. But you know what? Also go into global history and learn how they were able to do Marxist revolutions in Russia, in China, in Venezuela. Learn to see this cultural revolution that's going on, that's pushing us away from what's made this country great and pushing us toward a despotic future where the world comes under Marxism. Because that's what, if America goes, so goes the world. As American centric as that sounds, but right now, if America fails and falls, who takes up the mantle? Who sucks? Who gets the power vacuum? China. And that's a scary proposition. At least for me, I don't know for you guys. So fight CRT. Don't fight history. Well, fight the teaching of this nonsense right here. This is what we need to fight. And I'm gonna leave it there. I'm the Right Rican. You can follow me on YouTube and Rumble, where I post my videos. You could also interact with me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram. That being said, have a good one, everyone.